Hello everyone. In this video what we're going to look at is how to fill a gap, a recessionary gap, with a decrease in taxes. Now this is one of the most complex things you might have to do on the AP economics exam with respect to Keynesian fiscal policy. So let's take a look at how we could do this using one of two methods. First, we're going to look at the basic tax multiplier method, and then we're going to look at a little method that I'm just comfortable with, so I'll call it the Lightstone method. All right, first, filling the gap using the tax multiplier. Now, we've learned the tax multiplier as a formula that looks like this. So right here, we've got a gap of $400. Now, the tax multiplier is usually taught as something that would decrease GDP, because if you increase taxes, you're going to decrease GDP by the tax multiplier. Well, in this case, we're actually trying to increase GDP by decreasing tax. So, don't forget, if we want to decrease, get rid of that negative sign beside the marginal propensity to consume in the numerator. Once again, if we were increasing taxes, we would have negative marginal propensity to consume divided by what is essentially our marginal propensity to save. All right, but we want to decrease taxes here, and so we're just going to get rid of that negative sign. All right, so what does that give us? Remember from a couple of videos ago, in this scenario, our marginal propensity to consume is 25%, and therefore our marginal propensity to save is 75%. All right, so simple enough. That gives us a tax multiplier of 33%. Now, the question is, how do we use that? What do we do with that number? We know we want to fill a gap of $400, and we know our tax multiplier is 33%. Well, here's how you use it. We're going to take our gap of $400 and we're going to divide it by our tax multiplier. Because essentially what we're saying is, what is this gap, this $400, what is that 33% of? And the answer is $1,200. And so, if we reduce our taxes by $1,200, consumers will see that $1,200 as an increase in income, but based on their marginal propensity to consume of 25%, they're only going to spend 25% of that. That gives us $300. Hey, that's not our gap, but remember, that will be multiplied out. Remember our basic multiplier from a few videos ago, based on these numbers, is 1.33. So $300 times 1.33 gives us $400, exactly the gap we're trying to fill. All right, so that's the tax multiplier method. Let's quickly take a look at another method. I think of this as simpler, but it's just the way my brain works. Here, I want to fill this gap. I'm not even going to think about what the tax multiplier is. I'm just going to base this on the multiplier, our basic multiplier. So, how much do I decrease tax? Well, the way I look at it is I'm going to take that gap and I'm going to divide it by the multiplier first. Then I'm going to divide that by the marginal propensity to consume. So our gap is $400. I divide that by 1.33. What does that give me? $300. Essentially what I'm saying is, what is $400 1.33% of? It's $300. And then I'm asking, well then, what is $300 25% of? The answer, $1,200. The proof, again, if we decrease tax by $1,200, consumers will spend just 25% of that, perceiving it to be an increase in income. They'll spend $300, that will be multiplied out by our multiplier to $400, exactly enough to fill our gap. Thank you very much.